Mimi pale kwetu nimekubalika. Yeah? Kwa hivyo mimi nikiongea, watu ya mlima wanajua naongea kwa niaba yao. Tunataka kujua kabisa huyu Fred Matiang'i amekubalika na jamii ya Umugusi kama kiongozi wao. Unasikia? Sasa tunajua akija kwa meza amebeba jamii nzima. Na mimi hapo ndio niko na maneno.
I did a video yesterday showing how Dr. Fred Matiang'i is under serious attack by some leaders from the opposition. We saw Cleophas Malala and Njiru openly attacking Dr. Fred Matiang'i, directly actually. And the main message that came out of these people is that they can't trust Dr. Fred Matiang'i. Njiru went ahead to give some reasons as to why they could not trust Dr. Fred Matiang'i. I received a call from one of my viewers here and asked me, Mukua, what could be the reason as to why Dr. Fred Matiang'i is being attacked this way? And I went down to do my research. And that is what I want to take you through here on this particular channel. But before I do so, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mukua Times, kindly feel free to subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Without much wasting of time, allow me to dive into the first reason. Number one, it's the joining of the Jubilee Party. When Gachagua was starting his campaigns, he laid down the rules of the game.
Itakuwa namna gani mimi niambie watu ya Mlima Kenya tuunge Fred Matiang'i mkono kama yeye hajatuonesha kwa dhihirisho ya kwamba nyumbani ameungwa mkono kikamilifu. Kwa hivyo jambo la kwanza, tuko pale presidential candidate wengi, mimi niko pale, nataka kuwa rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Lakini ndio huyu Matiang'i akuwe na chance, lazima afike pale kwa meza ya kitaifa, atuoneshe na ushahidi ya kwamba ameunganisha jamii ya nyumbani 2.5 hapo nayo kwa meza. Sasa ndio tuanze kuulizana, okay, kwa Fred Matiang'i umekuja na 2.5, fine, formula gani tutaweza fanya tukusaidie?
Every opposition leader to go back to his home, form a party, and then that party to be projected to the rest of the country, and then later on they'll bring their support at the table for them to agree who can be the flag bearer of the opposition. So from that point, everyone knew that was Rigathi Gachagua's plan. But checking closely, Matiang'i has decided it is Jubilee. This is not a party that originated from the Gusii region. But we have to admit it's a party that was, when it was formed, Dr. Fred Matiang'i was part of it. So going against Rigathi Gachagua's wishes, it's also one of the reasons as to why Dr. Fred Matiang'i must be under attack. Because selecting the Jubilee Party, it's an indication that he is going to rival the DCP party in the Mount Kenya region. Rigathi Gachagua being the leader of the DCP party, then it means clearly that he feels he's under threat. That is number one. Ladies and gentlemen, also something that we must know here. When all these leaders were intending to become presidents in this country, when they were trying to see whether they can be presidential candidates, they had their plan in mind. If it was Rigathi Gachagua's plan for every person to come with his votes from his region so that they sit at the table and agree, I'm very much convinced that was not Dr. Fred Matiang'i's plan in mind. He had his own intentions as far as his vying is concerned. After World Bank, he felt like he could come now, build himself politically. Let me tell you one simple thing. If there's one person who knows that he can either sink completely or rise completely from the 2027 general election, it's Dr. Fred Matiang'i. He has never been in politics before. He has not created a base. He does not have a serious support base that he can tell, I have people from this region. It is when he's trying to survey the market. And then in 2027, when his supporters that he shall have developed by that, will have developed by that time, then they realize that our candidate is not at the ballot. So the few that we'll be having will also drop, will also give up on him. So Dr. Fred Matiang'i will entirely remain in the hands of other politicians. So for him to remain politically strong, Dr. King Fred Matiang'i must first build himself. Go to the grassroots, have a party, Jubilee, go to the grassroots across the country, mobilize, get people on board for him to know these are the people I have, this is my strength. He needs even to go for big rallies, organize a rally like Rigathi Gachagua, so that he can know this is where my popularity has reached. So Dr. King Fred Matiang'i has to build himself. After building himself, at least towards 2027, he can know this is what I have, this is what I'm capable of, even in the opposition. But now, that was not the game with Rigathi Gachagua. So in a nutshell, he messed up with what it was expected him to follow. That is one of the reasons. Ladies and gentlemen, another thing that resulted to the attacks on Dr. King Fred Matiang'i, it is because of the current decisions that have been made within the opposition. Kalonzo Musyoka stated clearly that he must be at the ballot. Rigathi Gachagua has stated that you must bring numbers on the table. Now, Dr. King Fred Matiang'i also knows very well that his future in politics does not lie in the hands of Gachagua or Kalonzo, but on his efforts that will make towards 2027. So if these people have already made decisions, because Kalonzo wants to be at the ballot, and Matiang'i wants as well, then the best thing is to break so that everyone can be at the ballot. So, in a nutshell, because there could be no proper formula that could harmonize them to come up to one candidate, therefore it's a deal for them to part ways, be at the ballot the way each one of them wants. And that is how Dr. King Fred Matiang'i could save himself. Why am I being specific on saving himself? If Matiang'i misses at the ballot in 2027, and he knows that very well, then his political future is dead on arrival. Right now, it is not so good. But I think the way I've been observing, the way he's moving around, I think he's also doing some things that probably with the time, we might be able to see very serious impact. So, ladies and gentlemen, the decisions they have made that have to be on the ballot, each one of them, shows very well there's no clear formula. So they have to part ways for each one of them to be at the ballot. This was expected, ladies and gentlemen, because I feel strongly that when Rigathi Gachagua said, kila mtu aite kura zake kwa meza, that is a tribal number that Rigathi Gachagua wanted each one of us to bring on board, each one of them to bring on board. And Dr. King Fred Matiang'i could just bring the votes from the Kisii County and Nyamira. Well, how about the Gusis who are outside that region? How about the Kenyans who support him across other tribes? So it felt like there could be no clear formula you can tell that I have a number of youths in a number of supporters in central Kenya, I have a number of supporters in western Kenya, I have a number of supporters in coastal. So it could not be easy to determine even his numbers. So even at the table, there's nothing they could have taken there. So in a nutshell, they agreed, they could not agree on a specific formula, which eventually resulted to this kind of a decision to attack Dr. King Fred Matiang'i and kick him out. Ladies and gentlemen, I also have to state it here categorically that the closeness between Gachagua and Kalonzo shows clearly that already a decision is made. It might be Kalonzo, Gachagua, or someone else, but Kalonzo is the presidential candidate in 2027 for the united opposition. Now, what position could Dr. King Fred Matiang'i occupy? Yet he knows very well that to save himself, he has to be at the ballot. In a nutshell, the decisions that were made could not allow Dr. King Fred Matiang'i to remain solidly within the opposition, playing the game of Gachagua and Kalonzo. He has to chart his own path. Clear. Ladies and gentlemen, another thing that I have to state here categorically is the issue of Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta is the Mudhamaki of Mount Kenya. Right now, is not the person very active. This is Rigathi Gachagua in charge. But his entry cannot be underrated. Last time, it was Rigathi Gachagua and Uhuru Kenyatta. Gachagua took the majority, but Uhuru Kenyatta could take still 1.3 million to Raila Amolo Odinga's side. So therefore, when Uhuru Kenyatta again comes back through Matiang'i, then the arrangement in opposition is affected. That means now, Dr. King Fred Matiang'i was affecting the plans that were laid down in Mount Kenya with Rigathi Gachagua, by Rigathi Gachagua. So Uhuru Kenyatta coming in, not giving Rigathi Gachagua the chance to take lead, it also brings bad blood between the opposition brothers. Hence, Cleophas Malala's attacks. Another reason that I feel strong that led to this kind of a thing to happen, ladies and gentlemen, it is simply because of Gachagua's impeachment. Some of the Jubilee members impeached Rigathi Gachagua. So therefore, there's still that bad blood between Jubilee and Rigathi Gachagua. That's why we saw Cleophas Malala saying this is a red wheelbarrow that has been brought to the Mount Kenya by none other than William Ruto through Matiang'i and Uhuru Kenyatta. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to state it here that there are some Jubilee members right now who keep on attacking Rigathi Gachagua. Like Ngunjiri Wambugu, Jeremiah Kioni was never recognized Rigathi Gachagua as a leader in Mount Kenya. So when these two people keep on attacking Rigathi Gachagua, they show very well that there's some problem, there's some craft they have, some plan they're having against Rigathi Gachagua, which makes the soldiers of Rigathi Gachagua also to come out and defend their man. I don't know what is your take, but in the comment section, feel free to share with me, ladies and gentlemen. Those are some of the reasons as to why I feel actually there are problems with Matiang'i and the opposition. See you next time for more videos.